reset here.
Alright, as Desmond Tutu, a South African social rights activist, once said, if you are neutral in situations of injustice, you've chosen the side of the oppressor. We see information every day about the effects of climate change. In order to change the world that we live in, we need to act upon these issues and information that we are presented with. In this speech, I'll educate you on the effects of climate change, and I'll persuade you to be the bringer of change. All across the world, temperatures are rising, as you can see by my cool graphic here, the thermometer going through the roof. It's difficult to believe this statement because thermometers all across the world come up with different temperatures all the time, but we can say for certain that there is a trend in the wrong direction. Climate change is no myth as we previously believed when Al Gore gave his statement years back in like 2009 or 2004 or something. Nobody really took interest to it, nobody really believed it, nobody actually went out and said, oh yeah, this is something that is fact and stated, but nowadays everyone believes it and we have to become the bringer of change. Our atmosphere doesn't release greenhouse gases. This is significant because our burnt fossil fuels, and our smoke and everything that goes up in the air, and cars driving, all that sort of thing, it gets trapped in our atmosphere. This creates an unbalance of carbon dioxide and oxygen, but some things that can cause this unbalance of carbon dioxide and oxygen would be deforestation, other forms of pollution like fracking and overpopulation can cause this problem to become even worse. We live day to day driving around in vehicles that cause emissions of greenhouse gases. We can reduce our emissions ourselves by carpooling and switching to a car that can is better for the environment. As you can see by my cool graphic here, my hybrid can beat up your Hummer. Back to pollution. Pollution can cause all sorts of things negative for the environment, and we do it every day without even realizing it. Let's see. One form of gas and oil hunting that's hurting the environment is fracking. Fracking is when they go deep down into the earth and try and dig up and then send the gas and oil to the surface. It's a controversial process, but we generally say that it's not good for the environment, and things like this are not how we should be promoting change. Let's see. Carbon footprint. What carbon footprint really is I'm going to persuade you to try and reduce your own carbon footprint. Carbon footprint is the mark that you leave on the earth after you've already moved on and such. It's like driving a worse car, releasing greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. Some examples of things that could hurt our environment are like driving a car, stuff like that, I already said. And some of the negative impacts that we see every day would be like the melting of our Arctic ice and glaciers. This rises the sea level 2 to 3 inches, which in turn eventually could lead to the overflooding of the US border and other borders and such like that. But gas and oil cause ridiculous amounts of pollution, and we need to start switching to sustainable forms of energy if we're going to continue living the way we do. Fossil fuels are created over time through millions of heat and pressure underneath the ground and then dug up from there. But as you probably already know, we should switch to renewable sources of energy. Some renewable sources of energy would be like solar power. These are actually cheap. You can buy them right on Amazon, plug in your phone, stuff like that. that you can switch to, and over time they'll pay for themselves, so you don't even have to worry about spending too much money on it, because it will pay for itself in the long run, and other stuff like that. But if we and solar panels work by like as a little cell, just like capturing the sunlight's energy. It acts as like each little things act as a little cell capturing the sunlight's energy and transferring it through, creating electricity. Wind power is another sustainable energy that we should start influencing people to switch to, because this would in turn make for a cleaner earth. It works by the turbine, one of these giant things spinning, and then that spins a little turbine, which in turn turns a generator and sends it to your power lines. And the wind is, if you were curious, it's caused by the uneven heating of the Earth's surface, which creates atmospheric pressures and then creates the wind. Hydrothermal energy is another form of sustainable energy that we can capture through the form of dams and such like that. And it spins a turbine as well. The water flows over it, which spins a turbine, and then again goes through a generator into your power lines. By capturing the energy of these sorts of things, we can make a cleaner earth, and influencing people to put these in and will definitely help you bring about change in your own life and make you feel better about yourself and the society, civilization that you live in. Other forms of energy that are sustainable would be geothermal, bioenergy, and stuff like that. Some scary facts that I found that will actually help you to influence change would be, with credit to MSNBC News, which I gathered these scary facts from. As you can see, it's pretty scary with the flaming earth and whatnot. But if everyone in the world lived the way that the US does, it would take 5 Earths to provide enough resources to the entire world. The hottest year on record was 2014, and then the third scary fact that you probably already hear about every day is that we're losing millions of species due to habitat destruction and stuff like that. It's up to us to change the way that we live in order to provide a cleaner, better society that we live in. We have to tell leaders of our country that we're not satisfied with the way things are going. We need to reduce our own carbon footprint. We need to make our own voice heard. And without changing the way that we live, California might never be able to grow crops again due to extreme droughts. And the US states' borders and stuff that border the ocean and stuff like that might go underwater, as I stated previously. Also in the Middle East, if this continues to go on, temperatures will become so hot that people won't be able to live in them and will be forced out of their homes, which nobody around the world wants to see that. And do you really want more storms and more floods? Because this has been a it's been more higher in frequency since the start of, since the more significant change of global warming. Yeah, it's time for change. We need to start stepping up ourselves and as a society in order to bring about this change that we all desire. To-do list, I put this up there as like, you could take your own little notes, write a little notebook on what you can do yourself and bring that about in the society and help to do that. But I gathered some of my facts from Trent Berth, Kevin E., and Philip D. Jones. They wrote a research paper with a ton of other credited authors. It's about a 100-page research paper. And a couple other websites, and credit to MSNBC News for the facts.